And the Roads and Transport Committee of Parliament is set to haul before it officials of the Ghana Airport Company Limited to explain contradictions in the acquisition and or rental of some Christmas trees by the company sometime last December. Now, news broke early this year about the Ghana Airport Company Limited's purchase of Christmas trees and decor at over 128,000 cedis at a time the country was reeling under a lot of economic pressure. In a sharp response, board chair of a company, Paul Adomotri, sought to justify the purchases and explain the Ghana Airport Company Limited paid 118,000 for the decorations, out of which 50,000 cedis was paid by a sponsor. Well, it has emerged the company failed to go through any procurement processes for the said trees and decorations in a response to an RTI request filed by one Redeemer Boache of a Media Foundation for West Africa. Now, in a letter dated June 10 and signed by Theresa Kokui Fiado for the Minister for Transport, the ministry denied claims of the board chair on the procurement of the Christmas decorations. It went ahead to note that the Christmas decorations for 2021 were rented and not procured by the Ghana Airport Company Limited. Hence, there was no procurement nor bidding process for the award of a said contracts. Now, the ministry also said even the rented decorations were paid for by a sponsor, implying that the Ghana Airport Company incurred no cost at all on the 2021 Christmas decorations. Now, this latest developments, place out some contradiction between what the Transport Ministry has just told us in that RTI information request, as opposed to what the board chair, Paul Adomotri, had also indicated at the time this particular subject drew such a storm on social media. I'll be showing you in a short time some of these contradictions. And so there you have it. So we know from the Ghana Airport Company perspective, and this was from the board chair, Paul Adomotri. He mentioned that two separate suppliers were invited to submit bids for the Christmas decorations and Christmas trees at the time. We know that Favors and Arts and Jandel were the two companies that were bidding. According to him, the bids were discussed and discounts were subsequently obtained for the trees and the decor. Now, it went ahead to say that the Ghana Airport Company Limited bought and subsequently paid for the Christmas tree and the inspirations. And in that defense, the board chair of the company says a sponsor paid 50,000 cedis out of the 128,366. That's just 39% of the entire amount for the Christmas tree and the inspirations at the time, according to the board chair, Paul Adomotri. Now, let me bring you some of the details of what the Transport Ministry has been saying. So the Transport Ministry says there was apparently no procurement, neither was there any bidding process for the award of a said contract for the Christmas trees and the decorations. Now, the ministry says the decorations were, in fact, rented and not purchased or bought. It goes ahead to say the entire cost of even the rental of a Christmas tree and the inspirations was borne by a sponsor. So those are the facts from the Transport Ministry in response to a right to information request by one individual, Redeemer Boache of a Media Foundation for West Africa, on this subject. And you know that this had been brewing since, sometime January on this subject. Let's speak now to Kwame Agboja-Gavin. He is a ranking member on the Roads and Transport Committee of Parliament. Thank you for joining us, Honorable. So we know that at the time this story broke, your committee was interested in all the conversations surrounding the purchase of the Christmas trees and even the inspirations thereafter. Are you surprised now learning that the ministry in charge is saying that, in fact, neither of those Christmas trees or inspirations were actually purchased?
Good afternoon to you and your cherished viewers. I see all these as just a very shabby attempt to cover up something that we all suspect. First of all, when the issue came up, Mr. Paul Adomotri did voluntarily offer some explanation as to what happened, and he was quite clear in his reportage at the time. There was no issue about renting of the trees. It would have even been more problematic if it was rented at the price and other things. And then various sums were quoted what was done pro bono and other things. So it is quite shocking, the current position of the ministry. The question then is, who do you trust? That is why it is going to be very important for the Committee on Road and Transport to eventually bring themselves and then the Ghana Airport Company to Parliament to so that we can probe further into this. The idea that because it was rented, there was no procurement process. Whoever put that particular line in that statement must be very careful, because the Public Procurement Act makes provision for the provision of goods and services. So if you're using public funds to even rent a house, there has to be a process to be followed. If you're using public funds to rent vehicles, to rent anything, even to anything at all, you would have to follow a certain process. So it is not even a case that an entity can decide to just basically ignore all the procurement laws and do whatever they like. So currently, who do you trust? Do you trust Mr. Poladum Otri's version of the confusion, or do you like the latest version from the ministry? It's difficult to choose between two confusing positions. So we would still insist that we are going to bring them to Parliament to be able to go into this and come up with what exactly the truth is.
Okay. Some have said, for example, the supervisor ministry, the transport ministry, as you have just alluded to, may have not been proactive in this respect, but for this right to information request from the individual, the citizen, these disclosures would not have been made.
Well, we all know that sometimes it takes a bit of time to get things done in the public or civil service. So I am not in a position to deal with it. I agree with you. It took so long to get to the bottom of this. On the part of ourselves in Parliament, we are in a process of also bringing them to get to the bottom of it. The good thing is that we are in a unique position to ask the relevant questions and elicit the required answers and make that public. And then obviously you have a good representation in Parliament. So we'll make that public. But we're in the process of arranging that interaction between the ministry, Ghana Airport Company, and ourselves.
Would it be premature to ask for timelines?
Yes, because what happens is he has to, we were trying to do that before we went on the break the last time. We came back just about 2 weeks now. So we need to get an appropriate time within our calendar, which actually can accommodate them. And then because we have a couple of things we are looking at currently. So surely, we didn't before we go on break, that's for sure.
Grateful.
Unless there's a blockade where the ministry or the agency is not cooperating, but I can't foresee them deliberately not trying to cooperate with Committee of Parliament.
Grateful for your time, Kwame Agboja-Gavin. He is the MP for Adaklu, also a ranking member on the Roads and Transport Committee, speaking to us. And this is still Midday Live from the News Hub here at Adisawe Kanda in Accra. We have more stories, including sports, entertainment, and some business news. Stay with us.